So welcome, Tina. Tell us a little bit about you and about your work, your campaign, and any personal experiences.
Well, Give Pain a Voice is in its infancy. It's a campaign we're launching North America-wide, nationally, to bring attention to the issues on the table right now around chronic pain.
Mm-hmm.
My background is, of course, as you know, in the Canadian film industry. I teach in the schools. I do motivational talks. And most recently, it's been brought to my attention the struggles that are going on around chronic pain. Mm-hmm. 1 in 4 Canadians and mm-hmm. 1 in 4 Americans live in chronic pain that will not resolve in their lifetime. So the cost to the Canadian public right now is $60 billion a year in medical treatment, lost wages, and productivity. And in the US, $635 billion a year. So chronic pain patients outnumber cancer, diabetes, and heart disease combined. And yet, how often do we hear about chronic pain in the news? Mm-hmm. You know, you might hear from a friend, I got hurt at work, I'm on long-term disability, I'm in chronic pain, yeah, whatever. I underwent chemotherapy for cancer, I'm having pain after. But then when you realize how widespread it is and the effect on our economy, and it's not being talked about. Mm-hmm. So I began developing this film, Pandemic of Denial, and with these figures, it became very alarming to me how widespread this was. And then only in the past couple of weeks I found out in the US, the DEA, they're the Drug Enforcement Agency, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. they've put a cap on how many narcotics, like opioids, for pain control can be manufactured. So patients with a legitimate prescription are going to their pharmacist mid-month and they've run out of medication.
They can't even access.
They can't even access their medication. And the DEA and other legislation because of the addicts in North America. Mm-hmm. So you're here, on one hand, you have the chronic pain patients who are legitimately using a prescription to control their pain. And on the other hand, you have addicts who are crushing the pills, snorting them. The Drug Enforcement Agency is trying to limit and stop that. And then on the other hand, the chronic pain patients are suffering. So I realized there's no umbrella organization to unite everyone giving pain a voice. And pain is subjective. It can't be measured by an MRI or a CAT scan or a blood test or an X-ray. So really you have this wide array of people with chronic pain. They go to see a doctor and it's very hard to diagnose. Well, my intention is to bring awareness to the issue. I mean, it's very minimally reported in the mainstream media. Another aspect of this is all the veterans that are returning from Afghanistan, Iraq, who are needing painkillers for post-traumatic stress disorder, physical pain. They're not getting adequate medication, and the suicide rates are up among veterans. So basically, you know, you'll hear a little snippet on page 14 of the newspaper or buried online somewhere, but there's really no one-stop shopping where there's a website that says, here are the issues in the US, here are the issues in Canada, and getting the various pain groups together so that they can lobby for change. So basically, you've got opioids, you know, you've got NSAIDs, you know, anti-inflammatory drugs. You know, there is so much more out there. I personally, you know, have chronic pain, but I use a multidisciplinary approach. And there are so many things that the public is not aware of. Like, they know, yes, there are prescriptives that we can take. Chronic pain is as diverse as individuals on the planet. So while one person, opioids may control the immediate pain after a motor vehicle accident or surgery, some people will need that the rest of their lifetimes. I'd like to cause a wave of awareness and advocacy so that the facts are out there. So the insurance companies are saying, you know, after 3 months of chiropractic, which is a very valid treatment modality for biomechanical back pain, and acupuncture relieves pain and inflammation. It's been around for 5,000 years, but yet insurance companies fight you when you want to help yourself to heal. Do you think these patients don't want to get back to work? Do you think they don't want to have a quality of life heal?
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Tina. It's been a real
Great.
pleasure.
Thanks.
And very, very informative.
There's a wonderful quote to end from The Hunger Games. It only takes a spark to start a fire.
Absolutely.
So here's the
Yes.
spark. And let's start a fire.
What a spark.
Yes.
I can already tell that it's going to turn into a humongous flame.
Thank you so much for having me.